What's going on, fragrance people? What's going on, fragrance world? I hope everybody's doing all right out there, smelling great, smelling amazing. And we're live. Hopefully, it's coming through. The camera looks all right. Hopefully, this is looking good. I've been making a lot of changes to the setup. Hopefully, you like this. I have a new desk I'm going to build out coming soon. I'm trying to figure out a way I might actually set up a bookshelf with fragrances. So, hey, everybody who's popping in, can y'all hear me? Can y'all hear the words that are coming out of my mouth? Hopefully the audio is all good. Last time I think I did this, the default for some reason, it was using the audio from my webcam, and I don't know for sure. Let me know if the audio is better or worse. But this time I'm actually using a real microphone. So, hey, everybody who's popping in. How was your fragrance week? What is your scent of the day? So good to see you. I see 4 people has popped in. So I'm really excited to be on here. I feel refreshed. I feel like things are going in a good direction. So I've been changing up my room. I've been trying to change up my life a lot. So it's pretty incredible, my friends. Pretty darn incredible. So what is your scent of the day? For me, I wore Dervish by Rogue Perfumery. Really nice ambery vanilla fragrance. A tiny bit animalic and also a tiny bit powdery. But very good fragrance. Probably my favorite from the house. They do have some that are more unique, but Dervish is probably the most mass appealing and likable. And it's blended really well. I've seen some people say it's a masterpiece. And it's pretty darn good. So I don't see too many people commenting in the live chat. Please let me know how was your week? What's your scent of the day? How's the weekend treating you? I'm going to try to pull up Fragrantica here real quick, but I do have some thoughts, of course, to speak with y'all and tell y'all about. Lots of maybe some interesting thoughts. We'll see how interesting they are to you, but some big thoughts I think for my channel. I really would appreciate your input, my friends, and some feedback. So let me get this underway. My friends, y'all got to let me know. How was your week? What is your scent of the day? How's life treating you? What's good? What's new? What's popping? Hope that y'all like the improvement in not only the visuals, but the audio. Again, this is quite a big improvement. At least I feel like it is. And I need to know what y'all think. Okay, so before we even talk about Fragrantica, we'll talk about some new fragrances. We'll talk about how our week went and all that. I'm going to let y'all know that going forward, I think that a lot of my recordings of my videos are going to be indoors like this, especially if I can figure out how to do a green screen. I don't know if that's something yet that y'all would like. That's the big question. That's really the big topic. The fragrance world continues on. So I have some videos that are recorded outside in full 8K quality. But I don't know if it's worth that much of an investment. And I've done some different angles with my recordings. And I'm just having fun. And, I'm trying to figure out what y'all like and also how I want to record. But again, when I've been really busy lately. And if I do recordings of fragrances in the evening, you're not really going to be able to see the outside, with the woods and the trees and all that y'all want to see. So I might not switch completely over to being indoors, but and I have already, I think, over 40, maybe if not 50 videos recorded, but a few summer videos, maybe at the end of summer that I've recorded might trickle into the fall. You might start seeing these videos later into the year because I did a big Instagram giveaway as well. And I mean, I have samples galore, samples. And I still have 100 fragrances. I mean, I got them all surrounding me and I'm trying to get these out the door and trying to get those reviewed the test of time and be good and strong for me. Put a lot of work into that. Oh, it says my connection's unstable. I'm reconnecting. Is my connection okay? Am I popping in and out? That's not good. But you don't want to share your scent of the day? The 6 people who are here, 7 people who are here. Feel free to share your scent of the day. And again, that big question is, do you really care about seeing nature outside? Some people really seem to like that. And again, some of y'all have heard birds in my videos, and those are real. Again, lots and lots of birds, but anyways. So with fragrances, I'm still buying some. I actually have some niche fragrances I plan. Like Istanbul is one that I really want to get in the collection, and one that I smelled recently called Scottish Pete. I fell in love with by Strange Perfumery. If you like fragrances that are earthy but yet rich, maybe if you tend to be a patchouli head but you want something different, Scottish Pete, you might fall in love with it like I did. It's going to be a new addition to my collection. It's an unbelievable niche fragrance. And I also I'm pretty darn impressed with the quality for the value for what you get. Yeah, they're 30 mils, and I think they're like 80 sometimes 90 odd dollars. But really, it's bite size, and I think you're getting your money's worth. 8 people who are here. What's your scent of the day, my friends? How's life treating you? What's good? What's new? What's popping? Hopefully, you're doing all right. Another thing that we need to talk about. It doesn't seem like there's too many people who care about if I'm recorded indoors or outdoors. I appreciate that. Maybe that tells me that it's fine for me just to record indoors. Before, I didn't have a way for me to get good quality, and I'm still not the best at lighting. This isn't perfect, but the setup is much better, and I have a way to record things a lot easier and more conveniently, and maybe be able to get y'all some editing as well. Another thing we got to talk about is advertising on YouTube. I mentioned it a little bit before. I don't know if YouTube is going to go against my channel for mentioning this, but it's something. It's y'all know that I have basic advertisements on my channel. I don't have anything against that. That's a part of being a YouTuber. But it's YouTube recently changed and was very open, made an open announcement. It's a part of their policy that they essentially will monetize content on anybody's content, even if you're not monetized, even if you have not joined the program at any time at their will, they will put advertising on any type of content that they want. Now, some of y'all might not accept that that's true. And some of y'all, it might not seem like that because, they might not put very many advertisements on highly controversial content or, things that, they might not have monetized in the first place. But YouTube, with a lot of fragrance content creators who maybe don't want to monetize, and just in YouTube in general, they're going to start doing that to just about everybody. And I think that is a big discussion and something that people maybe need to be aware of as a fragrance content creator. Just some information for you to be aware of. If you wanted to make a fragrance channel, which probably is going to be family friendly, you're most likely going to create a channel like that. You're most likely going to be making content that's suitable for all ages and appropriate and non-controversial, most likely. And if you chose not to monetize it, YouTube will monetize it if they want to. They'll do whatever the heck they want to do. So there's money left on the table. There's some people who have chose not to monetize or not to put enough advertisements. And YouTube's like, well, there's money to be made, and we'll do it's. I don't know how they get honest. I won't get too much into it, but I don't know how they get away with some of their stuff, changing user agreements. Almost all these big organizations, everything from Facebook to Twitter, user agreements are set in stone. You can't just change them willy-nilly. It's like an agreement. It's almost like a contract. It depends on how it's written, but anyways, are y'all ready to talk about the new fragrance news? I do not see people popping in the live chat. Pop out chat. No, I don't want that. See here. I was trying to see if there was any comment to chat, but I haven't seen anybody. Participants. I'm not seeing any chats. Are y'all chatting? If y'all are saying anything, let me know. But usually it pops up. Usually I'm able to see them in the right chat bar. And this time I can't see them. So this thing is interaction. So I don't know what's going on today. I don't know why that is. I'm sorry, guys. So let's talk about the new fragrance news. We got all those things underway. I thought that y'all would have a lot of opinions. I thought that y'all would have a lot of feelings about these topics. And I thought that y'all would have something to say about those two big topics, which are pretty darn huge in the FragCom. Not. I guess I'm not that big of a deal, but at least the monetization thing. That's a pretty big thing, and I've mentioned it before. They talked about doing it. It's just now that it's official. It's a part of YouTube, and there ain't no going back. So, okay, let's talk about the new fragrance releases going on. There's a new Creed coming out called Fleur de Bulgarie, so a Bulgarian rose fragrance. Some people seem to be excited about it. If you don't know, Creed has a little bit of a more affordable line that tend to be based a little bit more on florals. They're not bad fragrances, but honestly, they usually don't get me excited. They're decent, but some of them are kind of forgotten and honestly somewhat forgettable, but they are more wearable. They are a little bit more affordable as far as Creeds go. And, you know, you can't complain too much about that. But that's a new fragrance, a new one, brand new fragrance. Let's see here. If y'all are leaving comments, I almost feel guilty. I almost want to pull up my phone and see if I can get on this live and see if there are any comments being made. But anyways, there's some new brands come out. Michael Maluel. I'm not familiar with the brand or the house. Don't know where they're sold. They have one called 508 Nightfall that looked interesting to me. Let's look at its notes for here real quick. Let it pull on up. So, let's see here. Oh goodness, that my life has been topsy turvy. Today's been kind of crazy, and it's getting even crazier. So this is actually really quite fun. Okay, so 508 Nightfall by Michael Manuel. It's on the top of the brand. It says Corette, or KTORET. Not sure what that's really all about. But it has top notes of bergamot, apricot, pink pepper, some jasmine, some tuberose, orange blossom, patchouli, vanilla, and moss. That does look nice. That does look like something I might want to try depending on how sweet it is and how those notes come through. So that looks quite good. I try to give just about every brand a chance if I can. There's so many brands, though. There's so many companies like Tary, a new brand that just came out, THARY. Have not tried any of their fragrances yet. And as y'all know, I've talked about quite a few brands or fragrances that not everybody knows about yet. Like Nomi Paris, I talked about all their fragrances. I don't remember seeing anybody else do that. Beach Keys is one that has other people have reviewed that I haven't yet. I've thought about it. I've heard some raving, ranting reviews about it, but the new Bay Rum, I do like the smell of Bay Rum. And I talked very highly about it on my Instagram. Don't know if I was an influence on that, but I have been a proponent of Bay Rum and talked pretty favorably about that classic men's fragrance, that smell, that DNA that so many men have enjoyed as aftershaves or splash-ons for a very long time. It's quite the classic. So that's a fantastic thing. Hopefully that smells good. Maybe I'll get my nose on that. There's a new fragrance from Maison Crevelli. Not familiar with the house, honestly. They have a new one called Asmarth Kadoshan. Maybe it has something to do with Osmanthus. Maybe Osmanthus Oud. Not really sure. There's a new fragrance from Kais. It's Frangipani at Pistachio. So a Frangipani pistachio fragrance. A little bit green, fresh, and nutty with a beautiful, soft, that Frangipani, that tropical floral smell. That does look good. I'd like to try it, but Frangipani, it's very unisex, I suppose, but it kind of leans feminine for me. I do like pistachio, so if there's more pistachio than Frangipani, for me, that could be really quite fun. There's a new fragrance coming out from DS and Durga. As y'all know, I spoke very highly about Cowboy Grass, and I think there was another one I spoke highly of, but Cowboy Grass was, I think, the one that really stood out for me. They have one called Magnolia City. Looked really good. And I don't know, but I will have to smell it. Let's see. There's a new brand come out called Natura. The bottle almost looks like a Nautica bottle. Biographa Kamihos? Who knows? There's some other weird, some Japanese things that have come out recently. There's some new fragrances from Frank Boclet. Now, this is quite interesting because there's actually some new fragrances from some bigger brands. We got a new Carner Barcelona we'll talk about in a second too. But let's see here. Open a new tab. I don't know if y'all can hear that airplane, but we got an airplane. Oh goodness gracious me. Okay, so this one from Frank Boclet is called Addiction. Frank Boclet is actually a pretty nice house. That I don't even know if I could say the substance, but it used to be in Coca-Cola. Like I'm pretty sure you know what I'm talking about. And this one, they have a lot of fragrances that are kind of based on vices, and some people might say sin. This one is called Addiction, and it has galbanum, mint, basil, bergamot, ylang ylang, tuberose. I think I mentioned jasmine, orange blossom, sandalwood, cedar, peru, balsam, musk, vanilla, and ambroxan. So that's Addiction. Looks does look quite nice. That looks like a very promising DNA. As you all know, I do struggle with ylang ylang, but I'm definitely willing to give it a go. And the color of the juice, I'd like to see that deep resinous kind of looking fragrance juice in a bottle. It's going to give you some richness and it's going to have some strength to it, some real potency. So let's jump to the next one. It's called Frank Boclet's Enjoy. Again, this house is not explored very much. I would like to see more fragrance reviewers talk about them. There's some fragrance reviewers that have talked about one or two of their fragrances that have gotten some popularity, but they have a whole lot of other fragrances as well. This is a new one, again, called Enjoy. Maybe it looks like a happy, fun fragrance. That's what it's supposed to be about. Bergamot, orange, and lemon. Middle notes of rose, jasmine, geranium, violet, cinnamon, nutmeg, pepper, base notes of ambroxan, white musk, and incense. So that does look like a fun, fresh fragrance. We'll have to see if it's interesting or not, how much the peppers come through with the fragrance. Is the rose romantic? Is it just clean? Is it just a musky rose? What kind of rose is it? So that does look promising as well. Let's look at this Carner Barcelona, which I saw. This one piqued my interest. It's called Rockstar. Not only do I like rock music, but I do like the House of Carner Barcelona. I think they have fair prices for their fragrances. Some of them are fresher citruses, and quite a few of them are more 6 or so hour fragrances. So some people want better performance out of them. I understand that. But again, most of their fragrances are about the $150 range, and they're out of Spain, and I do like their style and their presentation. This one's called Rockstar. It's supposed to be I think it's described as an ambery aquatic. That sounds good. It's has notes of mandarin orange, sea salt, bergamot, jasmine, mineral notes, lily of the valley, seagrass, orange blossom, ambergris, white musk, and cedar. I'm just joking around. It's cedar. But anyways, sounds promising. I'm not sure if this one's going to come out to hit for the summer 2021 this year, but if they do, it might be one to check out. I don't know, honestly, looking at the notes making, again, you have to smell it to know what the concentrations of certain notes are like. But calling it Rockstar when it's more of a fresh, aquatic, clean fragrance is kind of tacky to me. At least with what I envision as a rock star. When I think of rock stars, I think from booze to patchouli to ambers to even smoke. I mean, rock star would be definitely a little bit more heavy and aggressive of a fragrance instead of clean, aquatic. So I'm not so excited about it. So we'll have to see how that one pulls through. Maybe it's going to be really loud on the ambroxan, and it's going to sound like it has a beat to it, like the bass of music or something. Maybe it's going to hit you in the face. I don't know. Maybe they'll redeem the fragrance. It'll be more than just a clean, fresh fragrance, even though nothing's wrong with that. And some people have gotten the wrong idea. I like fresh, clean fragrances, and they're great. But if you're going to make a fragrance called Rockstar, well, I don't know. I don't think that works with the name, but that's just me. Some people have a very different interpretation, and I've talked about this before. I don't think on my fragrance channel, but to me, rock stars is a form of music. Is a genre of music, and they've really opened up the word to anybody and everybody. I think the Rock Star Hall of Fame, if they put in like some famous pop singers these days, and to me, it's a genre of music. It's not. I mean, you don't go down and and say like a country music singer is like a famous rap artist or something. That's how I look at it. It's a different genre of music, so style. Anyways, there's also another new fragrance from Louis Vuitton called Imagination. Interesting name. I do like broader concepts and feelings and ideas and fragrances. I do think that is a good way to go. A lot of Louis Vuitton fragrances. I do have some more reviews to release out for y'all. And I'll talk about $200, $300 fragrances all the time. And I do try to give a balance of everything. But recently, I did get into a little bit of a niche kick. So Rolly, it's going to be very clean and fresh. Ginger, Ceylon cinnamon, really good notes. Chinese black tea, and Ambroxan, Guyakwood, Olibanum. If they pull this off, this one might be their best yet. Athens was really gorgeous, and they know how to play and make a beautiful opening to a fragrance. But if they make this work with the spices and the tea and the Ambroxan and the dry down, Imagination might be their best one yet. So let's see if there's any other fragrances. Let's see what else we got on our hands today. New fragrance releases. Of course, I do wish that the comment section was working today so I could get more feedback and more responses. I might actually try to pull up my YouTube here and see if I can't see outside of my actual streaming. Maybe I'll try to actually find myself and see if I can see the chat that you're talking about. And that would be quite fun. So I have to let's see here. So give me a second, guys. Chill with me. Chill out. Hopefully everybody's having a good weekend. Everybody's taking it easy. Everybody's living good, doing good, and having fun out there. Life's good. Life's getting better. There's lots to look forward to. So, okay. Let me find myself here. Ten loyal people I see that are here with 6 likes. I do appreciate that. I see that. Oh, I think that's why I can't see the chat. Okay, now let me see here. I can see the chat now. Oh, goodness. I don't know why, but it's not working over there normally with how I stream, so I'm having to look through the chat by looking at myself. I'm having to do an inception. Okay, guys, ladies and gents. Gam, I see you're here. I'm acknowledging everybody here in the chat. Johan and Decence. Let's see who else is here. Jake Jacobs in the house. Anthony, Ultra Super. I'm gonna get to all your comments as fast as I can. Original Dogman's in the house. Tremaine, hey, no notes. Everybody's popping in. Chalk, I'm gonna get to these comments. Let's talk about all this going on. Let me catch up. I got a lot of catching up to do. So, hey, everybody. Yeah, we're doing good in here. Hopefully, y'all like the energy. And I'm feeling good. I got myself a new chair. I'm excited about it. Johan says, it's the little things that help us change routines. Absolutely. Sometimes you just need to make your bed and clean things up. Maybe buy a new spice. Maybe buy a new T-shirt. Maybe go to a new restaurant you've never been to before, and really gives you a new perspective. Maybe meet somebody new. Who knows what it's switch things up a little bit. And Decence, hello, Ben. Good to see you pop in here. Have you tried crazy layering combos? I honestly, when I layer, I usually layer 2 similar fragrances. I've talked about layering something that has more of top notes, like a fresh citrus, and something that doesn't have much of a top, is more of like a deeper, heavier fragrance. That is one way to do it. I usually don't do that. I usually just layer something that's similar, or I just use an oil that's easy to blend with just about anything, like a musk or something. So I'm not too crazy into the layering, but it's definitely a good way to go to possibly get yourself extra performance, or to just have a unique smell and stand out a little bit. And also, maybe you don't want to buy all the fragrances in the world, but you want to switch things up. why not lay your fragrances, and then you can have, switch it up and have some fun, combinations that are your own signature smell. I mean, nobody else is going to smell like you. Johan, good to see you pop in here. Says scent of the day is Spiritino Forentino. Great fragrance. Edician, scent of the day, Jesus de Apozo, Gold Cedar, nice. Have not tried that fragrance, but sounds nice. In the past week, I've been experimenting with layering. Tell us, what do you like to combo? What are some combinations that work for you? You seem pretty okay. Well, thank you, Johan. I'm true and blue, and hopefully that comes through. Nursery rhymes. I make sometimes I make dumb rhymes, and I think they're funny. And the little nursery rhymes came from I made that line, or it stuck with me from an episode of Bad Lip Readings, and I thought it was hilarious, and I guess I'll never give it up. The nature in the background does differentiate you a bit. Okay, so you really like the nature, and it makes me stand out a bit. So you think I should stick with that? Well, it definitely takes a lot of effort to do, and I try not to get eaten alive by mosquitoes. But I'll probably record a lot of my fragrances, going forward outdoors. But I do want to rush and get through some of these, and I might experiment and do some indoors. So we'll have to see how that goes. What up, Ben? Scent of the day is Cashmere. Is that how you say it? By Arabian Oud. Thoughts on Timbuktu? Arabian Oud has some nice ones. It's always good to catch them on a sale. Sometimes they have big sales, and that's what I would do. I'd wait for a big discount. Timbuktu by Les Artisans. I love it. If you haven't seen my review of it, please check it out. I was one of the people who really got people talking about it. Timbuktu is amazing, if not a masterpiece. I believe it's made by Bertrand. I never know how to say his name correctly. Is Duchefort? I'm probably saying it terribly wrong, but he's one of my favorite, if not my favorite, perfumer. It's a resinous fragrance. It has a beautiful vetiver blended in the background, so it has lots of gorgeous frankincense. It's not smoky. It's not bitter. It's not dark. It has lots of beautiful spices, like African spices. It has a green mango, so it's like a tangy, sour fruit off the top. Timbuktu is amazing and really, really gorgeous. If you don't like the animalics, or how much a fragrance like Jubilation 25, how much it changes, and you really don't like anything that has to do with oud, Timbuktu is definitely the way to go, especially if you happen to like vetiver. Now, I've seen some people who think that they don't like Timbuktu. They don't like anything to do with incense, even if it's not smoky or dark or heavy. Timbuktu just doesn't work. So, for them. Joe, good to see you, Joe. Everybody, hopefully you're still here. Everybody I'm talking to and responding to. Let's see here. Oh, you're wearing the Nishane Colognese. Really nice cologne fragrance. I believe was it a 20%? I reviewed. I forget. I think I reviewed that one. I think I put the review out. I know I recorded it. Anyways, really high concentration for a cologne style fragrance. Really nice citrus. If you're looking for a fresh fragrance that's different, Nishane makes another. Anthony, Concepcion in the house, scent of the day, Spice Bomb Fresh. Oh, fresh. Nice choice. That one's getting hard to get. It's discontinued. I don't know if it's terribly expensive yet. That one probably will become expensive. I've seen some people really like it, but I don't hear too much talk about it. It was kind of like L'Enduit de l'Homme, as y'all know, the famous from Yves Saint Laurent. They had a fresh version of that as well, and there was some talk about it, but people kind of forgot about it. It was called the Frozen Edition. I believe that was one of their Frozen editions. Yes, chat is on. Good to hear that the audio is working. Again, I changed the settings. I thought I set my actual microphone as the default, and it was using my webcam's audio. So hopefully the audio is coming out loud and good and strong, and the quality is improved. And that's another reason why I want to record, if I can, a little bit more indoors, is because I actually have a nice this webcam I've invested into, and a real microphone. And I put money into this setup, and I have a new desk on the way, and who knows, I'm not going to have a really fancy display thing for my fragrance, but I do have a bookcase. I might try to. Ultra Super, good to see you, Johan, again. Ultra Super says, how's it going? I'm doing good. What is the survival ratio of the new niche indie fragrance brands? About How many survive out of 10, and or do they rock and roll? I don't see too many brands just going completely out of business. The indie brands seem to be willing to keep doing their thing without really shutting down, even if they're not making a lot of money. Again, I've reviewed some of their fragrances in the past. There's Posey, there's Possettes, there's Solstice Scents. There's a lot of good people out there, and you definitely give them a chance and a try. I know it's not everybody's thing, but they seem to still be willing to hold on to the fragrances and not just. And those little smiley faces remind me of the little bot men from Mega Man 64. We won't talk too much about video games, which I've joked about before, but that's funny. That reminded me of that. Tremaine says, "What is your favorite of the favorites of Louis Vuitton?" Probably. I'm trying to remember what it was called. Let me look it up here. There was a Mandarin one, which was pretty good. Let me double check on the name. I don't want to say it wrong. I probably say way too much wrong as it is. So Afternoon Swim has the most gorgeous opening of them all, for sure. I haven't tried all of them. I haven't tried like On the Beach or California Dream. Maybe they might be out Afternoon Swim, but even though it has that beautiful opening, let's see here. It might have been Apogee. There was a really nice, clean. Maybe it was the Le Eminence. Not really sure. There was one that was really clean. I thought. Hopefully, y'all saw my review of Meteor. It didn't get a lot of views, and I'm not here trying to beg for views. And I was kind of critical of the fragrance, and it is an expensive fragrance. So not only was it in a negative review, but it was an expensive fragrance. So let me know if that's something y'all want to see in the future. Of course, I am a fragrance critic. If y'all don't like individual fragrance reviews, especially if they're not positive or if it's an expensive fragrance, I might have to do what the big cats do. Just make a top 5 fragrances, talk about 5 or 10 fragrances from a brand if I can at once, and tell y'all which ones I like and dislike. So maybe y'all would like that better. But so the Orage, the orange one, that was pretty good. The Pure Oud was really aggressive. The Sun Song has that smooth, rich, but aggressive floral quality to it. I didn't like it, but I could see some people, if you really like those heavy florals, you might like it. That have a tang. So I'm trying to. It might have been this one, the Sur La Route. I think it was that one was my favorite. I'd have to double check. It was just clean. It wasn't anything too special. Almost reminded me of like flat Sprite, like lemon lime soda. I think that was the one I liked the best. So let me get back to the chat. Let's see what's going on. Everybody who's still here with me. Renaissance and Noxos off the chain. Yeah, they're both pretty darn good there, my friend. Dogman. Absolutely. Naxos is great for sure. Renaissance, clean, pristine. You can dress it up. You can dress it down. It's all good. It's all good. Let's see here. Well, I love their bottles. Yeah, the Louis Vuitton bottles are actually pretty nice looking. They're magnetic investment, why they're so expensive. But it's still, to me, for the quality for what you're getting, I don't know. Some people seem really hyped about them. I kind of want to put it out there that the Louis Vuitton fragrances there's some of the opening of Afternoon Swim is gorgeous, but it doesn't last that long and it kind of falls apart after time. But I mean, they're certainly worth trying. But it's funny to see that, hype behind certain brands. They get a lot of hype, and some deserve it, and some brands deserve it, and some don't. I don't think Louis Vuitton really deserves it. Let's see here. Original Dogman, yes, with the okay. Or you speaking Michael Mayuel? I'm not sure what you mean by that. Indecence. What's up? Good to see you, Original Dogman. Love for. We won't get too much into that. For love for Demi. Nah, I'm not going to get into that too much into that. And I don't try to beat up on other fragrance content creators. But again, who you watch is who you support. So lots of people out there must love Demi. when I watch a video of hers, which has been a very long time, and I actually tried to watch another video from Jeremy just to understand what people like and why people watch him. Again, I'm not their audience. So I'm not, I'm not who they're trying to, appeal to and possibly market to. They're not. It's not for me. So who you support, I mean, who you watch is who you support. So definitely get behind and watch and comment and like on people who you care about, because somebody out there must really be liking Jeremy and these guys. So they're doing their thing though. So Lil Tremaine. Renaissance is awesome. Yeah, it's pretty darn good. I was going to actually buy Renaissance, but I got myself Cartier Roadster Sport, and it's not the same. It's not the same quality, but for the price, and I'm so so darn happy with it. I don't see myself buying Renaissance. I really don't. But it's great. It is great. Let's see here. Oh, that's good. Niche frag companies. Yeah, I can make a, let me know what kind of video are you thinking about. I feel like you have a question, or if that you have a request. Chocoholic, Mr. Mrs. Chocolate. Feel free to ask a question. Feel free to ask away. If you have a certain type of video you want about indie or niche, or I'll make a video for you. Nose no note says Castro is true. Stepfather owns up to the competition of Spence. Oh goodness, man, that's awesome. Let's see here. Irwin Creed. I'm not going to get too much into that again. I do talk about Creed. I've talked about them. You'll know that they've been bought out, and they recently made their Viking cologne. So I can right now, based on, for instance, Critter John is making cologne versions of all their fragrances, and they're really trying to copy. And they saw that it worked pretty darn well for the House of Roger Dove. So they're going to try to copycat them. And Creed's doing this. So I don't think we're going to see any new creative fragrances possibly ever come out of Creed again. Maybe I'll be proven wrong, but I don't know if we'll ever see another good fragrance release that's an actual independent fragrance release besides a flanker or some kind of iteration of Aventus. We'll have to see what Creed does, but I don't have much interest in Creed, and I don't look forward to Creed releases any longer. So that's just me, but I know some people out there feel very differently. But let's see here. Let's catch up with the comments. And it was a UFO that passed by. It passed by you or me. The Benception is here. I'm watching the chat. I'm watching my live outside. Normally when you live, if you've ever done this before, you actually have a chat and you can actually see yourself. I can't see that, so I'm actually having to go to my own channel and look at I can't watch myself. So the screen is just dead, but I can look at the chat. It's really quite strange, but it works. So you can see me at least. Let's see here. What is the best time to get fragrances on sale? Really, I mean, I wish I could tell you that there was some big Black Friday sale or some special day that fragrances were sold like a fragrance day, but generally there's not anything like that. So you really just have to keep tabs. Sometimes these, like, I think it was Goodman's or some of these really big fashion companies, they'll have like a special promotion, especially if you have into their loyalty program. Like you spend a lot of money, like I don't know, like $250, you'll get $50 back. If you spend like $1,000, they'll give you $100 back. And these are for people, I guess, who have a lot of money. I've like, I don't know, $500 back. Anyways, so that could be worth it if you have a lot of money and you want to get a fragrance from a really reputable high fragrance by CA. They tend to have like quarterly sales where if you hit a certain, like around $100 or $110 odd dollars, you'll get the 10% off and the free and an extra discounts. So Fragrance by CA is about the only person that has a couple sales a year. Fragrance Net is a good place, and I know that Max Aroma sometimes has special sales, but they seem to be based on a certain brand or maybe a certain fragrance. So I have seen Max Aroma do like an Amouage sale or whatever it is, and have a certain discount on a certain company. But again, there's not. I mean, it's not like all the brands come together and they make like July, July. I don't know, July 17th, the fragrance day, and everybody's buying up fragrances. So I don't know what kind of scent explore we're going to have again. Again through Max Forte. There's usually some discounts codes or some special promotions through that with Scent Explorer. So do keep an eye out for that. You can get some discounts that way. But again, FragranceNet is generally the easiest to deal with, but their shipping isn't the best. And now their prices aren't the best. So make sure that you Google their 35% off discount code. If you default, sometimes they'll have the 20 or the 25% off. And sometimes they'll send you emails and they're like, oh, it's the best deal ever. And they'll try to promote 30%. They used to have 37%. I guess that got too popular and they wanted to stop people using it. But there is a 35% that works out there, and I have used it. So we'll stop talking about sales and deals. If you have any other specific questions on where to get the best prices, do that. Of course, you can buy used, buy, sell, trade, used fragrances, and stuff like that on the forums. People who don't want to work, mess through eBay and their fees and all that stuff. But do be careful and try to vet people, So let's see here. I just mixed Issey Miyake and the 1 EDP and a couple drops of Silver Mountain. That's a crazy combination. I don't think I've ever mixed 3 fragrances. So that's crazy. I hope that works out good for you. Scent of the day is Xerjoff Renaissance. Original Dogman, clean and pristine over there. Hope that's working magic for you. Just got Ani, Orlando. Nishane Ani is gorgeous. One of the best vanillas in the game. Beautiful vanilla ambergris fragrance with that sour kind of blackcurrant vibe. That's some addictive juice right there. How's Ani for you? Ani's gorgeous. I personally do. It's very unisex, but again, I tend to like maybe slightly more masculine fragrances. Ani, I do feel leans slightly feminine. I feel comfortable. I could wear it, but I kind of would prefer it more on a lady. But it's very unisex. A lot of guys out there are going to be comfortable with wearing it, and Ani's gorgeous for sure. I'm more comfortable with wearing Ani than I would be with Baccarat Rouge 540. So if you're comfortable with wearing Baccarat Rouge 540, I mean, you're going to be very comfortable with wearing Ani. At least I think so. So anyways, Ani's gorgeous. Definitely give it a go. Give it a try. It's definitely worth the hype. Ultra Super says there's a lot of lag going on. I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. I don't know what I can do. I need a better computer. I'm not asking y'all to pay for that, but I wish that I had a better computer. I do. This one is kind of a semi-old computer. It's not too old. It's running an i7 Intel, which y'all know that AMD has taken over. So an i7 Intel is quite the yes, a great perfumer. Absolutely. Netman Sandalwood Chocoholic says, looks good. I haven't opened it yet. I keep looking at it. It's so expensive, Orlando. Enjoy that fragrance. Open it. Open that fragrance and wear Ani. If it's a blind buy, I think you'll love it. I think you'll enjoy it. And yes, if that's your first niche fragrance or something like that, it does have a pretty nice presentation. It is pretty impressive. But enjoy that fragrance, my friend. I hope that you enjoy that. But to be fair, I have like 30 different fragrances. Yeah, we probably all have too many. Honestly, Orlando, a lot of us probably have a lot more than 30. We probably don't need to have more than that, but we do. Yes, okay, read that. I've noticed Middle Eastern people use strong scents. The Middle Eastern people really don't care for citruses. They like oud, and they like oud in the cold. They like oud in the heat, and they'll wear oud anywhere, anytime. Now, they do have musks, they do have ambergris, and there are roses. But, I mean, even the ladies, they don't stick to just rose fragrances. They'll wear heavy ouds, too. The Middle Eastern world is definitely a different world of perfumery. It's a whole different industry and a whole different way of thinking. But, I mean, more power to them. Ouds can be good. Ouds can be gorgeous. Tremaine says that's crazy to me. Absolutely. Gotta save it for a wedding in September. Are you not going to open it until the wedding? Or are you gifting it? Or are you, are you getting married and you're going to wear it on your wedding? I'm not sure what it is, Orlando, but I'm glad that you got it. Judd says, "Sup, gangstas? What's up, a player? Hey, Judd, how's it going? How's it going?" Orlando says, you said, did you say take a break? What were you saying over there? To break it in. Oh, to break it in. I see. Sent to the night. Sterling Soap Company, Sunflower Fields, Floral. Oh, sounds nice. I have not tried that one yet. I'll have to look into it. Professor Perfume says, Hi, good to see you. What's going on? I would actually love to know what kind of fragrances you like on a woman. There's lots of great fragrances. Nishane Zani is definitely one of them. I talked about Venom of an Angel before. It's actually, every time I look at it on Lucky Scent, it's sold out. I don't know how much of I'm an influence on that, but I kind of like to think that it's sold out all the time. It's actually been sold out for 6 months or more because I do bring it up every once in a while. It's a great entry-level niche fragrance for the ladies who want something that smells feminine, but yet it's unique and it's very attractive. If you want something that's a little bit more leathery, but yet boozy, Corrigan by the House of Blue Bond is gorgeous. If you want something that's a little bit more intense, something a little bit of a heavier fragrance, you probably will love things like Camel by Zoologist, or maybe By the Fireplace by Maison Francis Kurkdjian, or Kurkdjian. Not sure how you're supposed to say it, but those are some really strong contenders. There's some other ones. There was, I can never remember how to say it. It's by that Comptoir du Pacifique. It was that Vanille Apricot. That was a really nice, surprisingly good fragrance. It was very sweet, though. Maybe too sweet, and some people might say somewhat girly. But somebody having fun on the beach, in their swimsuit. I mean, that fragrance was fun in the sun, and that was really nice. I think a lot of ladies would love Afternoon Swim by Louis Vuitton, and I did think it kind of fell apart in the dry down, but hey, maybe not everybody is as picky as I am, and I understand that. And it has a gorgeous opening. So hey, I mean, if you got the money for it, if you're like a young lawyer, somebody's got money, I guess you can afford to wear that all day, every day. Put on 10 sprays of it. Judd the Stud says, "Ooh, yeah, keep it, hun, Ben. That's the whole point, bro. With them, maybe they relate to them in some way. I'm not really sure, but I don't want to take shots at them too much. I probably speak way too much of my thoughts, and some of y'all think I say nothing, that I'm not critical enough, and some of y'all think I say way too much. I know that I've probably already dug myself in the hole, and even when I first started my channel, I was trying to be friends with everybody, already was kind of at odds with the fragrance community at large, so I guess I don't care, but Jeremy Fragrance and Demi definitely are not getting knit deep into, the compositions of fragrances or the notes, and they're definitely not focusing on being educators. They're more, I guess, of telling you what to like, and they're kind of, appealing to the masses, which is all good and trying, but I don't know if they're really trying to help people. I guess that's for people to decide if they're thinking they're, finding the best fragrances or being educated. But some of those people, I don't know. I don't know if Demi explores too much, but it doesn't. And I know Jeremy has tried a few niche here and there, but by and large, some of these big fragrance reviewers aren't even exploring fragrances, and they have all this money to travel, and they sometimes fly around. You think that they could at least go to a boutique and smell everything, and then tell us, and they have probably contacts in the industry. You'd think that they would at least tell us about some of the new big releases instead of, trying to. I mean, they know what they're doing with the hype. Hype works. People buy into hype, and sometimes there are good fragrances that most people will enjoy because of hype. I mean, hype sometimes is real, and that's what they try to do. They try to go for hype, and I mean, that's just a part of I guess how it's going to work. Unless the majority of fragrance reviewers starts to switching over to want to see people who actually critique fragrances and talk about the notes and the smells and the memories and all the other details some of y'all might be interested in. Let's see here. Actually, the reason I watched Roger Dove. Did I say it right? I know I used to say Roja, which I know some of that got a lot of y'all really annoyed or twisted or bent or however people say it. I know it's Roger Dove. It's not Roja. I know it's not Roja. Roger Dove. Roger. Is it just Roger? I don't know. Please forgive me. Anyways, Orlando says Mademoiselle and Chance. Nice fragrances there. Those are definitely some solid ones. Oh, with me. Another one of my favorite, two other fragrances I really like on the ladies was Dior Absolutely Blooming. That one was a really nice designer fragrance as far as designers go. Crystal Noir by Versace is pretty good and dependable. Gucci Bamboo, the EDP version, was pretty good. Just got me remembering some more feminine fragrance, ladies fragrances. One of the best ones, and I actually saw some ladies criticize it, and some of the same ladies criticized, what was that one? Dior Poison Girl, which is still, I mean, it's not the same style. It does depart from the original DNA. Maybe that's not what they like, but Poison Girl's still a pretty darn good fragrance. Anyways, it's the La Vie est Belle. I believe it's Lancôme, but it's the L'Eclat version. It's more fruity. It's more boozy. And it has a little bit more of a twist, and it's very sweet. But it's definitely a very attractive fragrance. And definitely, if you're a lady out there trying to get noticed, wear a fragrance like La Vie est Belle, the EDP, or the EDT tomorrow. I'm already have the Intense in the parfum. I hope that works out for you. Sounds good. Professor Perfume says if anyone wants to see for that and watch that, Mr. Miami Cuddles definitely speaks his mind. That's for sure. Some people think it's very formulaic and boring, but I kind of like having a pattern, and I create my channel with my type of content that I think is helpful and beneficial and understandable. I'm not trying to criticize Mr. Miami Cuddles. I like a pattern with fragrance reviews. Mr. Miami Cuddles has an idea. He comes across an aftershave or whatever he finds entertaining, and he just talks about it, and that's fun and all. That's fun. So Ultra Super says, have you tried Mercedes-Benz Club Black? It's very close to Ani for a lot cheaper. I've heard it's a really good vanilla, the Mercedes-Benz Club Black. I do need to get my nose on it and see if it's good as the hype. I kind of stopped buying all the vanillas because I got Green Lover by Lolita Lampica, which was had a lot of vanilla to it, and I actually was buying up quite a few vanillas. I didn't come across a lot of vanillas that I liked, and then I started to understand vanilla. And it wasn't that I started loving all the vanillas. I actually smelled and actually came across and got to experience some vanilla fragrances I actually like. And then I got a bunch of them. So I have slowed down a bit, but that's a really good affordable fragrance, and I have heard great things. So anyways, what occasion is Jubilation 25 appropriate for? I think, again, some people don't feel the same, but to me, Jubilation 24 is anytime, anywhere. Every day. I don't know if it would be super casual. It does have a fancy quality about it. I don't know if it's exactly professional either, but it's fancy. And I like it. I love it. I think you could wear it anywhere, anytime. But you would be making it depending. I guess it depends on who you're around. People in Jubilation 25 casually, especially with casual clothes, you might really confuse people because it's going to be extremely fancy. It's going to make you smell like a king. And that you're just wearing that casually, not trying to make a statement or just doing your errands or working a regular job, wearing a fragrance like that, the two and two are not going to make sense, and people are going to be confused. I mean, they'll love how you smell, most likely, but they're going to think it's a bit strange. And that's why I say try to match how you feel with an outfit with a fragrance and make that combination work with you, because I love Jubilation 25, but I do understand that it's not something that sometimes almost doesn't feel appropriate for regular everyday wear. Not that it's hard to wear for me. I think it's really easy to wear. Some people don't feel the same way. And trust me, I'm not exactly an oud head, and I am definitely not an animalic head. About the most animalic fragrance in my collection that I can tolerate is Monte Cristo by Mosque Milano. It's probably the most animalic thing I have in my collection. Besides some vials of some real ouds, some real strong ouds, and some things I've smelled and tried before. So anyways, let's get to the rest of the comments. Great thoughts, though, Jake. Great question. I wear Ani and I love it, but Nanshi is my favorite right now. Happy that you like both of them. Yeah, definitely, wear what works for you. And again, that's one reason I started a channel. And that's one reason, again, I think I rubbed Jeremy Fragrance the wrong way, is because I have experience and I wanted to, review fragrances and have my own thoughts. And he wanted people to follow his trend. And essentially what I do with my channel is that I review fragrances and I find them and I give you and try to impart and give you information that helps you understand what the fragrance might smell like. So you can go out there and actually smell the fragrance for yourself and then decide if you like it or not, and you be the judge. And, Jeremy Fragrance, I guess, wants to be trusted or wants people just to believe him. I don't know. I don't know exactly what he's trying to do there, but that's the impression that I got, that you should, trust him or something. Anyways, see here. Jake Jacob, very formal. Curzon. I always say put a T in there. Curtizon. So it's just Curzon. Kirkzon? Yeah, I know that I'm probably saying these wrong. Thank you for the help, though. Ultra Super says, Professor Perfume, absolutely loving Nichane Hoctavat. Yeah, again, if you don't want to spend for the vintage 2014, 2015, 2014 or 15 batches, to me, Nichane Hoctavat comes pretty darn close to those. And it's so much more affordable, and it's pretty strong as well. So if you're on a budget or just want to get something that, without going through the extra effort of fighting for something like that and paying tons of crazy bucks, you might really be happy with the Nichane Hoctavat. It's not really an original fragrance. I wish that it was more of original fragrance. It is really more of a clone, but people love it. People are really happy with it. So more power to Nichane. It's really working. So absolutely read that. Let's see here. Demi and Jeremy are frauds. I'm not going to get too much into that, but if you're looking for people who are actually really passionate about fragrances and exploring fragrances and helping you find new fragrances and actually helping people to, explore the world of fragrance, those two aren't really for them. Again, I don't know if I would say they're frauds. There's different people. Again, the majority of people who probably buy fragrances are buying fragrances from the mall, and they just want to smell good. They just want to maybe smell more professional or be attractive. A lot of people do wear fragrances to be attractive. Some people in the frag comp don't want to admit that. Some people, the only reason they put on a fragrance is they're going out on a date or they want to find somebody to have some fun with, and that's the only reason they wear fragrance. So again, I don't want to invalidate or say that, that's a bad thing, but, so there's different people for everything. But again, if you're a fragrance reviewer, you can cover those topics and help people. But also I think you should be trying to not only express what you personally love and what you personally enjoy, the fragrances you find, but also, maybe you want to have a certain message. I don't know. Some of these fragrance reviewers, I don't see them doing that. I try to do that the best I can. Ultra Super says, not the same, but similar to my nose. Both vanilla and amber fragrances. Okay, yeah, definitely some similarity. Not the same, yeah. I have both. Sorry, I don't get the similarities. Between Hoctavat and Aventus, yeah, maybe if that's what you're talking about. You might not be. If you're only familiar with modern batches of Aventus that are very fresh and clean, you might. Hoctavat might not make any sense. But if you've smelled 2014, 2015, or older batches, there were some very smoky, heavy batches. Again, I've said it a number of times. Aventus was not just this fresh, slightly pineapple, slightly apple fragrance that's slightly musky that people are familiar with these days. Aventus, when it first came out, was a smoke, oak moss, ambergris, pineapple fragrance, and it had black currant, and it had apple, and sometimes it had a few other citruses kind of mingled in there. That's what the fragrance was about. So a lot of people out there, they haven't really smelled what original Aventus or what Aventus really was supposed to be. So it's quite a crazy world out there. So I called him. Who are you going to call, Judd? I have a channel, but I so seldom make videos because I'm working on my PhD, and it takes up most of my time. Yeah, making fragrance reviews, keeping it up, being consistent, takes a lot of time. If you want to make fragrance reviews, what I try to do, don't burn yourself out. Don't feel like you're pressured. But maybe on a Saturday or a Sunday when you have a little bit of a time, record 1 or 2 videos. Maybe people like to see consistency, even if you're not uploading every day. And honestly, I don't know if people, as far as fragrance reviews go, want to see a fragrance review every day anyways. But try to be consistent even if you don't upload very regularly. So maybe upload like 1 video every Saturday at like 3 p.m. or something. And then people will know when you're uploading, and people know when to stay tuned. And also, if it is something you care about, you can connect to more people that way instead of putting out a video randomly every week or 2 weeks or whatever. People can know what to look forward to. Anyways, Ultra Super says it's okay. You got your you got your nose and I got mine. Lol. Yeah, that's definitely true. We all smell differently. We not only do we all smell differently, we all have different preferences and what we like. We all think different fragrances should have different densities or richness. We all think fragrances should last a certain amount longer. We all have different memories of what certain notes smell like, and so a lot of people haven't smelled the real natural raw ingredients. And also, depending on where you live, I mean, we could be talking about the same note, let's say mint, because we're talking about Renaissance. We all might have smelled mint, but I could be in the USA, somebody could be down there in Peru, in South America, somebody could be in Africa, somebody could be, everywhere in the world, Germany, China, Russia, and the note that everybody's familiar with might also be slightly different because there's different species, and also there's different lingo. Some people call plants slightly different names as well. Who knows? Somebody might be smelling something that is a relative of mint and call it mint, and it might be a different. I mean, you never know. There's so much in the world of scent, and we all have different skin chemistry as well. So. Again, I don't feel like skin chemistry, I won't get into this too much. I don't feel like it dramatically changes a fragrance, but if I had to put an estimation on it, skin chemistry might change a fragrance in 20% or 30% or something. I don't think it completely changes a fragrance, but sometimes it does. Sometimes it can have quite an effect. Certain notes can be accentuated. The composition, can kind of come off somebody's different skin differently. So it doesn't change the smell, it just changes how the fragrance kind of develops and how the fragrance performs. At least that's been my experience. And again, lots of people feel very differently about this issue. Let's see here. Tremaine's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. Let's see. Ani or Mercedes. Professor Anthony says, favorite Kilian. Intoxicated might be it. I've reviewed Gold Night and the one for women, the gold fragrance for ladies as well. I don't know. I don't connect to a lot of Kilians. A lot of people love Black Phantom. I think it's a good fragrance, but I'm not personally impressed by it very much. A lot of people with their go-to fragrance, and it's funny because I like boozy fragrances. I want to try the Angel Share. That might be my new love, maybe my favorite Kilian, and I might fall in love with it. But so I've tried quite a few Kilians, most of them, and Apple Brandy was probably the best one by far. And Intoxicated, it's still being made, was pretty good. But yeah, let me try to catch up with all the comments. We have to work on your pronunciation. Yeah, I know I'm probably terrible, Professor Perfume. See here, I taught you how to pronounce and used to be olfactory therapist. Olfactory therapist. So you taught people smells, or you taught people how to smell again? That'd be a very interesting correction. Spice Bomb Fresh. Happy that's working for you, Anthony. Says you will have loyal followers because you're you, not because you're trying to be like Jeremy. So just keep on what you're doing. Yeah, for sure. And I'm definitely not complaining about viewership. I'm just, people bring up, I sometimes bring these things up, and sometimes other people do. So thoughts on, you say Laurent Nuit. Do you mean La Nuit de Long? is too simple for me. I've seen it on sale for 40 for, was it a full-size bottle? I might just get it at the local outlet. Yeah, La Nuit de l'Homme is kind of falling in popularity. It's been reformed quite a bit. I do agree that it is somewhat a simple fragrance, but you have to remember, and I think you probably know this. I'm not trying to criticize you, when Orlando, when La Nuit de l'Homme came out, it was one of the first fragrances really to use cardamom, and it also was a really good twist on a modern masculine fragrance without being a fougere. Again, lots of people don't seem to realize it or don't want to acknowledge it for some funny reason, because in their head, lavender smells terrible. But La Nuit de l'Homme, I mean, it has woods and it has some other elements. I think it might have some citrus off the top, but it's mostly a cardamom lavender fragrance, and it works in harmony. It's actually a classic combination. Cardamom and lavender have always really worked and played really well together. Some notes just work magic, like amber and vanilla. It's just a combination. Rose and oud. I mean, people know about this stuff, but yeah, it's been reformulated. It doesn't last very long. Is it still a good fragrance? It still would be good for dates. I mean, if you live in the city, if you're around people who wear lots and lots of fragrances, you might smell like the ex, or maybe the ladies might still be familiar with La Nuit de l'Homme, because again, you have to remember, for 2 years or maybe more, La Nuit de l'Homme was like the king of dates, and everybody and their uncle probably wore it. I guess it depends on where you live and how often people wear fragrances where you live. People around me, if they ever smell La Nuit de l'Homme, it was probably on me. People probably have never smelled it ever since. How are Henley perfumes? I've heard very good things. I haven't really explored or reviewed their fragrances yet, but I'll try to. I'll try to get my hands on some samples for you. Texas, Alabama boy. Orlando says, as seen Koros on FragranceNet, is it worth it? Some people really hype up Koros. I personally don't love it very much, but everybody loves different things. There are some really good fragrances that are kind of discontinued or might eventually dry up in the near future. Koros is one of them. To me, Koros is a soapy animalic fragrance, almost like getting a bar of soap and like running it on the bathroom floor. I know that doesn't sound very pleasant, and honestly, the fragrance is kind of, it's to some people, it's not very pleasant. But lots of people love Koros. A lot of people consider it a classic masculine men's fragrance, and one of the last that was really classically masculine as far as designer fragrances go. So some people really like it. I don't connect with it. I've tried to force myself to like it. I'm not beating up on Koros though. If you love Koros, love it. I've seen some people out there love gray flannel. I personally don't connect with gray flannel. Don't want anything to do with it. So I got rid of it, and I got rid of it fast. Yeah, we all like have our own likes and dislikes. Orlando says, I'm looking forward to get a bottle of Tom Ford's Man, a classic, but more for the fall and the winter. Yeah, it's not, that fragrance is beautiful with the ginger. It's actually really highly underrated, Tom Ford Man, and it's very versatile. You could wear that. I think you could easily get away with that fragrance in the spring. I guess it depends on your seasons and where you live. And again, when I suggest seasonality, it's just a recommendation. And I think most fragrance reviewers mean it this way as well. There's just a suggestion where most people are most likely to feel comfortable wearing the fragrance. Of course, you can wear anything, anytime, anywhere, do whatever the heck you want. And Tom Ford Man is definitely versatile enough. If we're thinking about the same fresh ginger fragrance, you could wear that anytime, my friend. You don't have to worry about that. Tremaine says, where'd that go? Very true, Ben. Notes perception. Yes, absolutely. Ultra Super says, what's your take on Mansara Black Gold? I haven't really got my nose on it, reviewed that one. I've seen some hype for it. I've seen some love for it. My favorite Mansara so far is Oud Vanille. It seems to be kind of forgotten about, but it's really, in my opinion, the best by far. Oud Cafe was pretty decent. Amber Fever was pretty good. But I mean, there's some of them that people really hype much, so I don't really hype them. I could jump on some hype trains. I could buy a bottle, and then a bunch more people would like me because I they feel like I'm a member of their group, and I like the same fragrance that they do. But I kind of speak about what I think is true and what's real and what matters to me, and I try to get a review of everything I can. I've reviewed a few Monstars, but I don't think I've reviewed all of them yet. So I'll try to do more of that going forward. Orlando says, "Have you seen Curly Fragrance? She's very charismatic and likable." C's recommends Overspraying. Oh, I have. I know who you're talking about. I don't know how I should respond to that. It's again, we all do our own different things. She does top tens, I think, mostly, and she really does, trying to market herself towards men and be, date fragrances and stuff like that. More power to her. I think she's the one that's exploding, right? There's a there's a curly scents and fragrance. The one that's doing all the overspraying talk. She can have her own opinion, but y'all know how I feel about that. Try to figure out, the right amount of presence that you want. How strong? How much do you want to be noticed? Wearing a really strong fragrance and putting on tons of spray is not the appropriate thing to do in most situations. If you've ever been around people with class or people who are sensitive to fragrances, putting on a lot of fragrance is not a positive. It's a negative. And I've gotten comments for wearing really average or maybe slightly above average fragrances, and I've gotten comments that my fragrance is too strong for just putting on 7 sprays. And honestly, and it wasn't even a terribly hot day. It was slightly warm, but it was only it wasn't even 7. One time it was 5 and I got a comment. And it was like what a lot of people would say is an average performing fragrance. And it was only 5 sprays. And I got comments that it was too strong. So again, try to be considerate and do try to figure out what situation you're in. Now, if you're a younger guy and you're going to a club, you're going to a party, you're going to a bonfire, you're hanging out with the friends, especially if you're outdoors, spray up, get noticed and have fun. I understand that. But putting on 10 sprays of a strong fragrance, Jean Paul Gaultier's Ultramall or a Montal or a Monsara, that's probably just not a good idea. So I've tried to almost oppose that movement, and I find it strange that so many people connected and pushed that idea, and why people that became kind of like a motto, sissy spraying and all that. It's there's been times where I've only put on 3 sprays. It's not exactly because I'm worried about offending other people. It's just that if you work in a professional environment, I don't know if y'all have ever worked around people and with a job, professional or semi-professional or regular jobs. Sometimes you're not even allowed to wear any fragrance, no fragrance. So sneaking with 3 sprays. Yeah, that's one time when I had my bottle of Ancre Noir, the A La Extreme version, which is a fairly strong fragrance. I think I put on 2 sprays. And not only did the people, they didn't like the smell because it's kind of gothic in its own way, even though it's boozy and it's rich, but it was way too strong. 2 sprays was way too strong for the office. So, and I was choking people out, and people were like, "What the heck is that smell?" And I was getting all kinds of bad, kind of like almost bad reactions. So we'll stop talking about that. But hopefully that gives y'all understanding about, where I'm at and my opinion. But of course, do whatever the heck you want. But JitSense has quite a nose. Yeah, I'm not trying to tear down all the fragrance reviewers. I think y'all know that. JitSense is a pretty cool guy. He definitely tries to help people smell good. And I think he's pretty darn genuine. I think we can see that. Overspraying is awful inconsiderate. It can be. Again, it depends. I mean, if you're a young guy and you're, in Amsterdam and you're putting on 10 sprays of Paco Rabanne 1 million and you're wanting to go out there and dance with the ladies or the ladies, I mean, hey, something like La Vie Belle and want to, go out there and party with the boys. I mean, have more fun. Put on 10 sprays. Get yourself noticed. Have fun if you want to. So, I understand that point of view as well. Orlando says, Issy is my La Nuit de l'Homme. I'm not sure. Oh, is it Issey Miyake? Which one are we talking about? We're talking about the Noir Argent. Or do you feel like one of them is similar to L'Enduit de l'Homme, or I'm not sure what you mean. Carl says, have you tested Aaron Terrence Hughes? Not yet. I have not got my nose on those. I've seen a few other fragrance reviewers in the USA reviewing and talking about them. So it seems like maybe they're getting a little bit more available and they're shipping more to the USA. When I first heard about them, I looked into trying to get them in the USA, and there was no way to get them into the USA for a good long while, like 6 months or more. So maybe they're becoming more available. I think that they are. I'll try to get my nose on them and see what I can do to review them. That'll be fun. Orlando says, but people rarely know what I'm wearing, but some like. I'm trying to. I think when I jump comments, because y'all are commenting so many great comments, I almost like miss some of them. But people rarely know what I'm wearing. It's like, but some like it. But most girls I like. Oh yeah, girls. I mean, I've seen some studies supposedly where ladies are more sensitive to fragrances than men, or maybe they're able to pick up on certain notes. So if you're a guy and you think that you're barely projecting, supposedly women can smell, I don't know, 20, 30, 40% or more better. So you might not think you're projecting that much, but you might just be. Professor Perfume says, lol, I'm a psychotherapist and I love fragrances. So yes, that's where your name comes from. Professor Perfume is the name given by Scent-Assault Patrick. So I'm sticking with it. Well, it's a good name. I definitely stick with it. So Fragrance Journey's in the house. Good to see you, my friend. What fragrances have you been getting into? What's good? What's poppin', Fragrance Journey? Y'all know Fragrance Journey. Professor Parfum says, my last boyfriend wore Encre Noir and I always felt like I was hugging a graveyard. Yeah, I wore the A la Extreme version, which is a little bit more rich and almost slightly boozy, and it kind of has maybe a little bit more sweetness, and it was still pretty gothic. I'm not saying it's a bad fragrance, but it's and it is a very good value for the money. It's very well crafted, but if you, again, there's some fragrances like that, like Encre Noir, and if you don't look at, think for yourself, and if you blind buy into the hype, you might get yourself in trouble. So I see a lot more people these days going for the Encre, the sport version that's a little bit more fresh, with the citruses on the top. Professor Perfume says it's a cultural thing. She's entertaining. We're talking about curly fragrance still. I think you are. Curly Scents is from My Cité. Oh, nice. Orlando. Professor Perfume says, yeah, but enough. Yeah. I mean, some of the ladies know what they're doing. The guy, we won't get too much into it. But again, we talked about it, I think, live last time or previously. And there's a fragrance reviewer who kind of quit fragrance reviewing because she got so annoyed, and she essentially called the whole FragCom a bunch of simps. And that's kind of the world we live in right now. It's kind of true. It's kind of true. I mean, I'm more power to the ladies. I've seen some ladies feel like they don't get enough representation in FragCom. You definitely, I mean, I think you got your representation. I mean, there's still some people, Jeremy out there, but I think you got some attention. Let's see here. So probably passed her without knowing in the past. Yeah, you didn't even pay attention. You didn't even think about it. Professor Perfume says, believe me, some who never leaves home without wearing a fragrance, I can tell you that I do not like a man who ever sprays. I hear you. BDK fragrances go to 7 to 11 for crying out loud. And you're just going to 7-Eleven. Yeah, some people might want to go overboard. I mean, some people dress up and get really fancy just to do everyday errands, but I know what you're saying. If you're just going to the grocery store just to get yourself some gas, why put on 10 sprays? Orlando says, now I'm talking over Miss Antonio Banderas. Oh, so you're talking about Curly. She kind of played into that thing a little bit, but if you're talking about the one, I don't want to be disrespectful. I don't know what culture she's from, but she's kind of like more Spanish. She was nice. Yeah, she did the Blue Seduction. Antonio Banderas. I know exactly what you're talking about. Yeah, she seems pretty nice though. I feel like she's pretty charismatic. Oh, she's from Boston. Oh, okay. So that makes sense why she was collabed. I don't want to make y'all sad, but there's somebody who sadly passed away, and she did some collaborations. So I can kind of see where all those people kind of live fairly close to one another. So it makes it easier. That'd be interesting. It's kind of interesting. There's kind of like a New York club. Some of these fragrance reviewers and people, the guy got this New York club going on. Nothing's wrong with that. I'm just this, I would kind of be fun if you had a bunch of cool people around you. Ultra Super says, yeah, spraying 16 times like someone recommends will do damages on your reputation. Yeah, if you go to work wearing a strong, especially if it's a strong fragrance, you put on 16 sprays, they might just send you home. And there are people who are sensitive. I put on 5 sprays of Versace Pour Homme, and that one's a fresh fragrance. It's a clean fragrance. It does project fairly well in the first hour. I only put on, I think it was 4 sprays, maybe 4.5. And there was a guy there, and he was sensitive to fragrances, not really in the best of health. At least it didn't look to me like he was in the best of health. And I didn't even walk in his office. I didn't even sit in his office. I just walked past his office, and he was coughing because the guy, he probably had pneumonia or something. So let's see. Orlando says, when the yuzu note was first introduced, it was a fresh of breath air in the industry, the same way as La Nuit de l'Homme. Oh, I see what you're saying. It changed things up in a really good way, and that's how you think about the fragrance. Okay, I see. That makes sense now. Orlando says, referring, yes, yeah. Curly is Greek. Oh, she's Greek. See, I don't even know. And again, I need to be more cultured. I'm terrible. I knew the curly hair, and I knew it was unique. Curly is from. I honestly I have no idea. I don't keep tabs on people. Some people try to get into people's careers. They try to figure out their first and last name, and they try to like spy on people and stuff. I don't try to do that. It's I don't know all the details of them. Professor Perfume says, I wore 1 spray of both Delina and Cassili. I hope that's how you say it. On a date once, and the guy said I wore too much. Yeah, Parfum de Marly fragrances are fairly strong. And for people who aren't familiar with fragrances, we smell so many fragrances, that might not seem like a lot. Yeah, two sprays in total of a fairly strong fragrances might be too much, especially if you're getting close to somebody. Again, that's why I kind of recommend more subtle fragrances, and why things like Dolce & Gabbana The One, people complain about the performance of Dolce & Gabbana The One. For a designer fragrance, Dolce & Gabbana The One is still one of the best date fragrances, and that's honestly, I don't know if it was intentional. I still think they were trying to make money. Anyways, La Nuit de l'Homme, that's one reason it's still a great date fragrance, even to this day. Orlando says, I think Rawlings has a similar nose to mine. Preferences out of all women. Yeah, more power to you. And if you get good recommendations, definitely trust them. And I mean, Layton is a good fragrance. I'm not trying to tear people down or get too much into all that. But Layton is a really good recommendation. I mean, if you are going to recommend a first niche fragrance to anybody, if you're going to recommend a fragrance to men to be attractive, good performance, again, and you're, in a fragrance that works for almost anybody, highly versatile. You can wear it almost anywhere, anytime as well. Layton by Parfums de Marly is really good. Is it slightly overpriced? I think so. Should it have been as hyped as it was? I don't think so either. And it was a Ventus, and everybody was buying a Ventus, and it was almost everybody in the community was a Ventus. I mean, there was a time for like 3 months when the Ventus hype was so bad, I stopped watching YouTube completely for about 3 months. I just said, I just stopped watching everybody, because almost every single review, every single list, everything was about a Ventus. I couldn't stand it. So let me catch up with the comments. Have you reviewed Authenticity Summer Vibes? No, I have. I don't think I have. Summer Vibes. No. Okay, I actually think I caught up with all the comments. Did I really do that? Oh, it's a magic. I finally caught up with all them comments. Okay. People. We got 9 people here. Let me see if there's any other fragrance. I checked how long I've been on here. I think we're getting closer to about 2 hours. I usually only stream for anywhere from an hour to 2 hours, but I hope that y'all like. We had a fun time. We talked. We've talked about most of the fragrances. There's always something new popping out. There's a new Carvin fragrance. It's called Siest Paris. That might be like the life of or the life in Paris, something like that. No, that's not the life. That La Vie is life. Livy, I'm not sure. It is Paris. Maybe that's what it means. Yeah, it is Paris. There's the new Edinburgh by Chanel, which I mentioned before. That one's just coming out. A brand new fragrance. Again, that's pretty big news about the DS and Durga Magnolia City. The Frank Boclet, some people know about them, some people not so much. More people are going to start talking about the new Molecule 01 flankers. There's the orange, and there's a couple different ones. So I think there's I think there was a couple of them, and I think more people are going to start reviewing those. There's 3. We talked about Imagination by Louis Vuitton, which looks like it has the potential to be an incredible fresh fragrance. It looks like maybe they paid attention to the popularity of Afternoon Swim, and maybe they wanted to put out a new iteration. I hope that it's not essentially a flanker, but there's no doubt that at least in the Fragcom, Smelling Great fragrance reviews spoke very highly of it, and so did I. Afternoon Swim has one of the best openings. It's just incredible from their fragrance line. So I talked about there's some reviews. Some people are talking about the fragrance. Again, some people are going to feel like there's some bad connections to the fragrance, especially because it's called Sin of Heaven. And Fragrantica went all out and called it the Morning Star perfume. That's quite bold. Anyways, just looking at the notes, I mean, I don't really care about the story if that's what their brand is going for. Just looking at the notes, Prod, spelled Proad, the brand, and that fragrance looks incredible. If it smells anything like the notes look like, that looks incredible. There's the house of Sol. How do you say this? Solsekia. Solsekia. That's a fragrance. The brand is Pierre. Oh yeah, the Pierre Galami or Gualami Paris. They got some new fresh, clean fragrances. We mentioned that one before, so definitely keep an eye out on that. So I'm not really seeing anything else that catches my eye. Let's see here. It's really funny that there's articles that are written of certain fragrances. Like I talked about Kenzo Jungle, and then Fragrantica decided to write about it because it's an underrated fragrance and it's a great designer fragrance. And Kenzo really didn't get enough love as well. Kenzo, they had some good ones. Okay, so let me catch up with see if there's any more comments, and we'll probably say, call it a night. We'll call it a night, my friends. Let's see here. Have you Hactavat and Cedroc Boisé are way better than Aventus now? I completely agree. Again, if y'all have not watched my list, I made a list about 5 niche fragrances that are alternatives to Aventus and even better than Aventus. So definitely check out that video. Yeah, Hactavat are great. Cedroc Boisé and a latent that I already mentioned. If you're looking for your first niche fragrance or you want something that is highly versatile, worth your money, y'all know about it. I talk about it all the time. Cedroc Boisé Mansara. Get it for $80, $90 odd dollars. You'll be happy. I think most people will be very happy with it. Orlando Ventus, yes. Milano Cinto is amazing. You reviewed it. Yes, I'm happy that you enjoyed that review. I reviewed the EDP version. There are 2 versions. I did smell the EDT a while back ago, and I thought it was decent. But I did like the EDP version much better. And again, I stand by what I said in that fragrance review. Okay, so I don't see any other comments. So thank y'all all for being here tonight. I'm probably going to wrap it up. We've been on here for an hour and 33 minutes, I think, so far. EDT is like YSL Jazz. I'd have to try YSL Jazz again to refresh my memory. You probably are right, but I just I think I've tried YSL Jazz. It's just been so long, and I don't think I did actually. Did I do a review? I don't think I actually did a review, so I need to refresh myself on that. But I hope that y'all had some fun. I hope that y'all learned of something new. I hope that I gave y'all an opportunity and a venue to ask questions, to talk about new fragrances, things that you've explored, new fragrances that you bought. Find some friends in the chat, learn about where you can buy, sell, trade fragrances, and all kinds of other goodies. I hope that my lives are beneficial and helpful, and you feel like you have a friend to chat to. That's what these lives are all about. For me as well, that I get to connect to the FragCom, and I get to talk about my experiences and the fragrances we've been wearing or buying throughout the week, or what's been going on. And again, we touched on maybe some sensitive subjects, and again, I want to say it, I'm not trying to tear down other fragrance reviewers. We all have our differences, and that's not what my channel is about, dogging or putting down on anybody's channel. But we definitely all have our different preferences, and some of us have very different motivations or reasons why we make fragrance reviews. For example, somebody recently, I don't think that they were saying it in spite or anything against me, but they were telling me that they personally would never make like a fragrance, a video. I don't really think they were saying top 10, but they were saying just in general, like a video that was you calling the fragrance or discussing that the fragrance was seductive or attractive in that kind of way, because that's not what they look for in fragrances, and that's not what they like to talk about. And I understand that some people don't want to talk about that at all. That's not what they're interested in. So anyways, I'm sorry, the cat's fussing at me. I need to go greet the cat. Hopefully you'll had fun. Again, I'm going to try to change and improve my setup even more. Thanks for being friends, everybody. Thanks for hanging out. Have a beautiful weekend. Have an incredible weekend. If you're religious, have a blessed weekend. Enjoy some good food. Be with friends and family. Try to get some sun on you. Try to get some vitamin D, and just have a great time. And again, I upload Mondays, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So I hope to see you in my next fragrance review in the comments, and get your thoughts and opinions and feelings about everything. So have a fantastic weekend. Hope that I put a smile on your face. Have an incredible week again, everybody. I'll see you soon. Peace out, and bye.